Hey guys, welcome to the Engineer Wannabe YouTube channel. My name is Sanjay. Thank you for joining us. First of all, apologies for missing out last week. We had a bit of a family emergency. Yeah, so it's been a bit of a long week. Yeah, three hours of sleep a night. So not quite only because of that, but every when it rains it pours. So I'm a
Right.
little beat, so I'm glad Chaz is here with me. Always good to have Mr. Chaz pulling out
Well,
the rear.
glad to be here with you. I know
Yeah.
you were in desperate times, so I'm the bench player that gets called in
No, no,
when all the
no.
all stars are out, on injured reserve.
That
So
is absolutely not true. You are the all-star.
no, no,
Uh,
no, no, no,
yes,
no.
yes, sir. Yes, sir. Um, because I know, like, to have you on, I have to specifically ask. Right? You're always ready to jump on, and I always just throw the invitation out there, but with Chaz, you have to ask. And I guess a lot of the other people, I just don't ask. I need to ask more. But I'm
Well,
so
I'm always willing to help if you're in a jam, but I also enjoyed just being in the chat with the guys because it's a great group of people that
oh
we
yeah.
have hanging out with us. We got a I'm not I don't haunt the watch live streams like the Phantom of the Opera, but I check in every now and then, and I'm telling you, the guys that hang out with us on Bobby Leg shows and your shows, and they're the best group of watch people.
Oh,
I'm maybe a little biased, but I think we have the best community,
yes.
as
Yes.
AJ says.
Community.
So
We totally do. Yeah, we absolutely do. And then it's good to see you all in the chat. I'm glad you've joined us. No specific topic tonight. I have a couple of discussion questions that are on the spot, that we can just ponder about, and we'll see where things go and have some fun. But Chaz, what is on your wrist, sir?
wearing the Wolflagos, the the
Wolfaghost.
Tudor, the Pelly left hand drive.
Yeah,
Um, so I
yeah.
call it the Wolflagos. It's Wolfgang and I are watch bros here with this beauty. So
Look
one of my
at
favorite.
this.
There he is. In honor of our esteemed friend, let me show it one more time. The
Yeah, there you
Wolflagos.
go.
Oh,
And
wait.
oh boy, here we go.
Wow. Let's see. Oh,
There
there
you
it is.
go.
Yes,
There it
yes.
is. Has Wolfie always had that? Or
He's had
Yeah,
it for a long time.
that's been an early buy in the collection. Yeah, probably
okay.
5 years now.
Wow. Okay, that's why I don't recognize it. Because
The weird thing is that it's difficult to find now.
yeah.
Our buddy Mike, he's waiting for one for months now.
Wow.
And I talked to Karan, and he has the blue and the black, but the LHD just doesn't show up.
Yeah.
I don't
That's
know.
I've noticed that. I haven't seen it at the AD in a long, long, long time. And
It's
the left-hand drive, that's the one that's got a number in the back, right? Like a production
Yeah,
number.
it's the production. They put the production number on there. I think let's see, mine is probably way later than Wolfie's.
Let
Mine
me
is
check.
number 15,000 and 15,000, and I think that says 8. But it could be 3. But it's 15,000, so it's way down the line.
I
That's
got
great.
6111.
Wow. Okay.
Wow. So yeah.
My I know I had a left-hand drive back when I thought I could wear men's watches.
Ooh, look at Sanjay.
And I think my number was around the 8,000, and they kept telling me that they're gonna stop, right? This number, like, this is the last year the left-hand drive is gonna be there. Um, you probably have one of the last few, and
Sure.
so on and so forth. Yeah, there you go. We went up to 15,000. um, yeah, but
Slightly
Wolfie,
off.
Sorry?
He was slightly off.
Yeah,
Didn't
slightly.
quite end.
How are you doing, Wolfie?
Good.
Oh, it was
I
good
am
to.
wearing, well, let's say I brought,
Yeah.
in honor of the occasion.
Oh, it's got to be Grand Seiko.
No,
Oh.
it's a 34 millimeter Longines.
Oh yes.
Oh.
Yeah. Look
Oh
at
yes.
this.
Look at that.
Look at it in all
Oh
its
man.
glorious size.
You know, the funny thing is that would look perfect on my wrist.
I doubt it. Looks great on Katie.
Yeah. Oh man. That is when did Katie get that?
Last trip in January, February. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. We
That
bought that in the, they have an outlet here,
okay.
a Sports Group outlet where they have the lower tier brands and they carry
Yeah.
some Longines.
Yeah.
And so it was just 40% off, brand new.
Yeah.
I
And
think
it's
we
not
paid like
it's not crazy price either.
$2,700. It's a full gold case, full gold rotor.
Wow.
It's and
Great.
it's really good looking. I mean, it's so small, but I mean, it's really nice.
Yeah. Yeah, it
Beautiful.
looks good.
The crown
Like,
is so small that you can't really, you can't give it much power. It's a lot pain in the ass. But then we got yesterday, Karan gave us one of those sticks. These
oh yeah.
where you kind of, you know,
Yeah. Was it plastic or brass or?
I don't know.
Yeah.
So you kind of do this and then
Uh,
can give it a nice.
yeah. You know what they say, necessity is the mother of all invention.
Yeah, I had no idea that stuff existed. He had all kinds of sizes.
That's cool.
From back in the day,
Yeah.
when they had these small crowns. Nowadays, I mean, I didn't run into a watch where you couldn't really, you had to kind of like.
Yeah. Wow. It's a great watch. It just needs a bit of work on that four though. The
On the
four
what?
the
What?
four.
What's wrong with the 4?
Yeah, I
Looks
mean
great.
it's okay. It's an okay four.
It's great.
You know, it's got a strong backbone, but the rest it like skipped upper body day, you know?
You're such a nerd.
Yeah, I am. On my wrist is also a Longines, also a small Longines, the 36 millimeter Legend Diver in a brown burgundy. Go solo here.
Nice.
Yeah, familiar watch.
Beautiful.
Yeah, real men wear small watches, Wolfie.
And we know that thing can take a lick, right?
I'm only kidding. Sorry, Chaz, what'd you say?
We know that watch can take a lick too,
Yes.
right?
Yeah. Fell on hard concrete, slid across the floor, not real scratch on it, except for a
Jeans
little.
quality.
Yeah, timekeeping is spot on. Nothing wrong with it. So, yeah, I'm happy. Wolfie's favorite part of the show. Saying hi to everyone. Bill K, good to see you. Rick, how are you, sir? Happy weekend to you as well. Marcy Darcy, hey. New face, I think.
No.
Welcome. No. Okay.
No.
Hi, Marcy Darcy. Sorry, I forgot about you.
It's a
Okay. Oh, it's
core
one of those.
member, a core
Okay.
member of the royal family.
I see.
And a really big fan of Dib.
I got you. Young Excellency, hello. Welcome. Good to see you. Marcus F. from Down Under. Good to see you. Hey, Corey's awake. Welcome, Corey. Corey St. Chaz is the all-star. There you go. Hey, Bobby K. Good to see you. Bubbles is here. Oh, sorry. That just came out. I honestly I didn't mean to. I know you don't like that. So that was a good show though, Wolfie. Tuesday night. I really enjoyed it. They really gave you a hiding, eh? With the mayor and
Mean people.
yeah.
especially that man from Florida.
Yeah.
Very bad person.
Oh man. Okay, let's see. Juan is here. Hey Juan, hope you're doing well. Bruno, good to see you. Got James Duffy. Good to see you. Hey, Steve is here. Good to hear. Good to see you and have you here with us. Amen. How's it going? I hope you're doing well, Amen. Walter, good to see you. Oh, Rick is wearing the GS cookie. Very nice.
Nice.
Very nice. Bobby K's dream came true. There you go.
I don't know who he's talking about.
What, did he say something else? Oh, you get a new watch for your T-Shot collection. Did you actually get another one after? Did something transpire after the mayor? Or?
No, but unfortunately, one is on the way.
Yeah.
It's gonna be an Indian delivery.
Yes.
Personal delivery.
Yeah. I hear it's pretty quick. So JJ, good to see you. Justin is here. Got Kevin S. Hello, hello. Good to see you, sir. And apparently James is saying be careful with that crown winder. Can put a lot of lateral torque on the crown and stem if it's not held parallel to the stem. That's a good point. That is a good point. Hey, Kevin Hawthorne, good to see you. Okay. Curry. Oh no. Kevin S. Is that a chain? I could totally see that being a chain in the US. All right. Okay, so for tonight, we well, kind of on the back of that collector thingy, the collector conversation, not collector conversation. What do you call it? What is a collector? Collector discussion. Sorry, I'm running on low sleep, so apologies for the low energy or the floatiness of my speech. But I was thinking if we could ask a couple of rapid fire questions and see where the conversation goes. But I was wondering if you guys collect anything other than watches. Like Wolfie collects fountain pens. I know he's a huge fan of fountain pens. He geeks out about ink. No, I'm just joking. But Chaz, do you collect anything other than watches?
Yeah, I've collected pocket knives most of my life.
Yeah.
Probably since I was old enough to carry a knife. It's not something before I got into watches, I probably collected more knives.
Yeah.
I pick up one here and there now, but I've said this many times. I'll probably be collecting knives long after I stop collecting watches.
Oh,
it's been a
stop the watches.
lifelong thing. So,
do you think?
Well, I mean,
will come to an end
at some point. At some point you get to a point where you're probably not going to. I mean, I haven't gotten there yet, but I probably get to a point. At some point, I say I don't want to buy any more watches. But I don't think I'd ever get that point on a nice little knife. So I've always loved pocket knives. So
okay, yeah,
I've collected those, and I mean, I've got a few fountain pens, but I wouldn't call myself a collector. I don't feel the same way about them. But basically, my dad, growing up, he was a coin collector. He was a stamp collector. He had all kinds of, and I did the baseball card stuff when I was young, but we didn't really collect them back then. We just played with them.
Right.
We never had this idea that they were going to be valuable or anything. It's just something we did for fun. We would trade them. So I guess I got my collecting thing from my dad, and I just always loved pocket knives. So I've still got a bunch. So cool. I'm a collector.
Yeah. How about you, Wolfie?
Not really. But I always had a like. Yeah, I might have also have it from my dad because my dad is a classical music nerd, a real, like we are with watches, a real collector for 60, 70 years.
Oh wow.
And so
Sorry,
I
does he play anything? Like
no,
any
no,
instrument?
but he, like, I mean, thousands of recordings, and
Yeah.
like he's been to the opera, some of the, the main operas. He saw them probably close to 100 times live.
Wow.
So he's like a real enthusiast, like we are in watches, and tons of knowledge, over the years. And so there's a collector bug in the family for sure, as far as that goes. And I kind
Yeah.
of collected, when I was getting into bodybuilding way back. I collected magazines, videotapes, books on nutrition, on workout. So I always had that enjoyment out of a little bit of hoarding, whatever interest I had at the time.
Yeah. Yeah.
But now it's really only watches. I mean, I do smoke cigars, but I wouldn't even call myself an aficionado. I mean, I'm sort of an cigar aficionado,
Yeah.
I guess. But I buy them to smoke them. So
Right.
it's,
They're consumables.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. That
I
makes
do
sense.
know something about them, so I'm knowledgeable about the industry and stuff. But
Hmm.
I would say I collect them.
Yeah. Yeah. That's interesting. Guys in the chat, feel free to jump on as well and let us know what else you collect. Um, so thinking about that collector definition thing, I also have had that question in my head. So I I know what collecting is. So when I was a kid, I collected DVD movies back when DVDs were a thing. I guess DVDs are still a thing now, but Blu-rays are more it. So yeah, I actually used to watch a lot of movies. Funnily enough, even though I don't know anything to save my skin now, but used to collect movies. And then I collected Tintin books, so Tintin comics. So I was a big Tintin guy, and I collected everything, like all sorts of anything that I could collect. I had magazines. There was quite a few magazines that I collected. Reader's Digest. I used to collect them just for the jokes at the back of the book. I don't know if do you guys know what I'm talking about, chats? Right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. Okay. Um,
My grandmother did that.
yeah.
The Reader's Digest. She was your tracking with you. My grandma always she had big stacks of those Reader's Digest.
Right.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
There you go.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Yeah. And video games. I collect video games. So, um, yeah, I've always been a collector, and watches. I definitely am not a collector because I go through them like they're consumables. So, and look, okay, you see two boxes here, right? Uh, there, you see two boxes that are the same.
Hmm.
That's how you know I'm a collector. Because one is sealed because I want to look at the box in perfect condition, right? The other one I've taken out and I use it. So yeah, that's how you know I'm a collector. So I buy
Nice.
two of things, one so that I can look at it, and the other so I can actually use it. So yeah, in stark contrast to watches, which I wear them when I'm done with them. I trade them, or there's literally no keepers. So I would say I am a watch enthusiast and not a collector. But yeah, most
The
recent thing
question
is
is,
fountain pens. Sorry.
if you the question is, if you would not collect the other things to fulfill the need to collect, would you then have to collect and keep the watches? Maybe you just, with the watches, you you kind of burn through them, right? I mean, you kill them off
Right.
in fascinating speed. And maybe you couldn't do it psychologically if you wouldn't have, the hoarding need fulfilled by all the other things. Could be.
I don't think so. I don't think so. See, the hoarding need. Um, I don't. I feel like with a watch, the utility is so high up for me. Like the utility need, the need to tell the time. Um, that after a while, it starts to, it's all for me. It's all kind of a watch, right? And as long as if I can tell the time, that means I can have different watches. And I guess if I had unlimited money, maybe I'd hoard them all. I don't know. I think so.
Well,
Yeah, if I had unlimited money, you're probably right, Wolfie. If I had unlimited money, I probably would just have
what
everything.
about what about the pens? You get rid of the pens, or you
No,
hoard them?
no, the pens are still here. I gave away a few because um they were just sitting there, and there's another friend of mine from church who really loves fountain pens, and I wanted I wanted to share like a gold nib pen with him, and he would never purchase something like that. So I just gave it to him, and yeah. So a couple of pens. I gave him like 3 or 4 pens, just like, here, try this, and then keep it. It's yours. So my pen collection took a nosedive in a sense,
Not a
but
bad thing.
they're staying. I still have 5 or 6 pens. I'd say I'm a collector because I don't intend to sell them or anything. So yeah. Let's see what people are saying. What else they collect? Some interesting answers here. I hope. Uh, God's country, says Corey. I'm jumping into a conversation there, I think. Hey, some truth here. Jesus is king. Thank you for bringing that in, John R. Rick says, I collect wine, but only for personal consumption, no selling. I wonder if there's like a wine reselling market.
Oh
Do
yeah,
you guys know? There
Oh
is?
yeah, there is. It's
No
big.
way. No way.
big time.
Oh, yeah. What about cigars? Is there like a cigar reselling market?
Yeah, but I think it's much smaller.
Yeah.
And the liquor stuff, not only wine, but you have whiskey, gigantic, trading and stuff, and collecting rare
Hmm.
liquor and wines. But there is also in the cigar industry, I think I know people that actually collect rare stuff, that they don't like to smoke, because it's like, if you have a box of 10
Mm-hmm.
and you take one, it's kind of, it's not, what I'm saying? It's not
Yeah.
true. You could sell the 9, but I'm not in that world, but I imagine it's probably, it cuts the value in half at least, because it's not the full box.
Right.
Just like
Yeah. Yeah.
watches, when you don't have box and papers.
Yeah.
Sometimes, we talked about it recently. There's like a $5,000 upcharge nowadays for a little cardboard box and some papers. The same watch is 5K more if it has box and papers.
Oh, I see. I see. Yeah. 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 That
And
makes sense.
so, probably that's why in the cigar world, like, I have a buddy who has one or two of these rare boxes. He never smoked one. It's like
Wow.
he keeps them
Wow.
humidified, so that they're in good shape, and theoretically they could last decades. Some people say they get better over time if
Huh.
they kept in the right environment, like with wine. But
Yeah.
we could know more about the wine.
So, oh man. So there's gonna be one day in the future someone who smokes one of the 10 cigars. And oh wow, that would be, yeah, I guess if the value keeps going up and up and up, at one point it'll just be like 50, $60,000 for a pack of 10. Am I even in the right ballpark?
I mean, theoretically, with the ultra rare, I saw pictures from, like, real old Cubans, 30-year-old Cubans in the original box, and maybe papers, where it was sold,
Yeah.
and they can get up to, I don't even know if you could really. I mean, probably nobody smokes them at that time.
Right.
It's just like, that rare part of history when maybe, whatever, Cohiba made a run of 500 cigars, and after 30 years you find one of 10.
Yeah.
A collector might be interested and say, oh, I'm gonna pay 50K for it. Might be true. I know
Okay.
about wine bottles that go for 200K. So
Wow. I would never have thought a consumable. I mean, I can't even think of it. I can't even think of an example of something else that's consumable that would be resold or collected like that. Because, well, I mean, why would you make a run of only 500 cigars when you can keep making them? I mean, I guess you can make that argument about anything, but
yeah, in the cigar world, it's like, I don't know, but they say like in that year, there was a certain amount of rain, and the ground was like this,
okay,
and the
okay.
plant turned out like this, and then they combined it with this plant, and they couldn't do it for more than a few pieces. So
Huh?
same
Oh,
with
this is
same with the wine, probably, yeah, we had a bad harvest that one year in 1974, and so we were only able to make 100 bottles of this winery in France, and now it's worth $300,000.
wow. I guess that's plausible, right? I mean, not only plausible, it's happening. So
It's happening.
interesting. Interesting.
I saw a whiskey bottle yesterday, at retail for $6,000.
Wow.
Just at lunch next to the display case.
Yeah.
And so some people pick it up and hope that they can sell it for 20 in 10 years, I guess. I mean, I don't know if
Okay.
somebody will drink it, but
Oh, I see. I see. Interesting. So, Reinhardt, hey, good to see you. Says he collects fountain pens, whiskey, guns, knives, like a gear. um, but some of those I consider tools to a great degree. Okay, yeah. And his dad collected pins and model cars. That makes sense. Young Excellency collects CDs, Zippos, belt buckles, pocket knives, kitchen knives. Kitchen knives, interesting. Canes, Goodyear welted boots, yes. Silver skull rings. Wow. Okay, so we're a crazy bunch here. Hey Paul, good to see you. I collect broken hearts and rare Eastern European hot pockets. What? Like pizza pockets? um Corey says he shoots with Fujifilm. Fujifilm's good stuff. I've heard. I'm not a photographer. Bobby K collects experiences. Yeah, don't we all? Don't we all? Let's see. James collects watches, toys, old books, knives, scientific tools. Oh, and experiences. There you go. It's a good one at the end there. Man, this is fascinating. Let's see. Bruno has a question. If you moved on from watch collecting, what would you collect next? That's a good question. Chaz, you want to tackle that one? Could you
Well,
something you don't have right now?
outside of continuing to collect knives, something I don't have now. I don't. Maybe precious metal.
Oh, okay.
Gold coins.
Huh.
Because I think that would be good to have, down the road. So yeah, I might collect gold coins.
Very interesting. Gold coins. Wolfie, any thoughts?
Well, I mean, I like to have a lot of gold coins, but not as for it's different reasons. I'm not spending time in gold coin chats or going on gold coin YouTube streams.
Yeah.
So I can't think of anything because I had many years where I didn't collect anything. After the bodybuilding kind of was over, and for a long time I didn't really collect anything. So it would have to be something that kind of catches my real deep interest, that gets me going, and I wouldn't just do it because I have a need for collecting stuff. I'm not like that. If it really needs to kind of get me going, I need to be really passionate about the subject. Then I maybe I not even cigars. I smoked cigars before I collected watches. Never got into watching YouTube about them and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. Maybe I wouldn't do anything.
So this is like an anomaly kind of thing for you, whereas like for a lot of us, this is normal behavior. Like
Yeah, for
collecting.
me it wasn't really. It's been like periodically. There were a period of this, like before bodybuilding. When I was younger, I collected all kinds of rock memorabilia. Like I was
Okay.
into Kiss, and I had the posters, and I had the stickers on the jeans jacket, and I collected the concert tickets and all kinds of stuff connected to the rock world.
Hmm.
And then the bodybuilding came, and then long period of nothing, and then watches.
You said that with such sadness. No watches. Justin actually relates with you. I know I saw that. I forgot to highlight it, but Justin says he actually tends to collect everything else. So I remember Keith, who joins us often. He also is a minimalist. He likes to say, except when it comes to watches, which most of us would say he's still a minimalist. Keith,
Most
hi
of
Keith.
us.
Yeah, I would probably, if I were to collect something else, it would be something completely random, something completely out of the blue. I couldn't even fathom what it would be. Because fountain pens, I would have never thought I'd collect fountain pens. That was like a train, like a brick wall from another dimension hitting me out of nowhere. So, I would think it would be something ridiculous, something just completely out of the blue, completely random. One day I'm a happy watch collector. The next day I'm into something else. Not quite sure what it would be. I'm trying to think of something, but
It could be spring bars. The amount of
spring
time you're
bars.
talking
Yeah.
about spring bars. It's kind of prophecy of what's to come, maybe.
yeah. Maybe fish. Like something outlandish. I'll start having aquariums behind me. Maybe, who knows? Or
Yeah,
ants.
do that.
Yeah. So
Ants, yeah, you're
yeah,
weird enough. Yeah.
it's weird. It's nerdy and weird. So something along those lines. I'd say hats, but I don't wear hats. But yeah, I forgot to mention one of the reasons why I thought of talking about this, because my my wife and I, we watched this movie called The PEZ Outlaw. Have you guys seen this documentary?
No.
It's about a guy. I'm pretty sure. I don't know how well documented this is. I'm pretty sure there's like this crazy hillbilly kind of guy made up half the story, but a guy who went into Eastern Europe could and bought like these rare PEZ dispensers into
Oh yeah.
America and sold them, like resold them at crazy markups. And they have I learned in that video that they have PEZ conventions. Can you believe this? and they were talking to one another, and they were talking like we talk to one another about watches. Like, oh, this PEZ dispenser is actually quite rare. I got it in the collection. It was a Grail PEZ dispenser, and I was like, what is this going? What is going on? And even my wife said, I thought I heard everything when you got into watches. That there were people on YouTube talking about watches, but now I've seen everything. Because yeah, I'm sure if we Googled or YouTube has dispenser, I'm sure there's collectors talking about PEZ. But
100%.
There was one guy who actually reminded me of you, Wolfie. Like he had the same accent you had, and he had the same voice. So I was actually not quite fully paying attention, and this guy was being interviewed, and I was like, "That's Wolfie." It was good. He sounded just like you. But yeah,
No,
sorry.
I'm not into pest dispensers, so it wasn't me.
Yeah, I would have cried laughing if it was.
Oh boy.
Alternate universe, alternate
Maybe
personality for Wolfie.
we should stop talking about this, or these guys gonna send me tons of pest dispensers in the
Oh,
future.
we should just get together and watch this movie, and I should ask people, does this guy not sound like Wolfie?
Well, it's the Germans and Austrians. They kind of sound alike,
No.
as Marcy Darcy says here.
Oh, did he say that? Okay, I'll catch up with the chat real quick here. Paul saying Blu-ray is the hippest thing around right now. There you go. I'm right on that curve, man. I Rick says I need an Omega Tintin. I would like to own a Tintin. I would have a nice story to go with it. So yeah, Tintin comics, Timeless Explorers on the Moon was my favorite one. What was my favorite one? I know my least favorite one was the Castafiore Emerald one. I don't know if you guys know Tintin, but that was awful. That was the worst one. But my favorite one was never mind. I can't think of the name. Let's see. Hey, sympathy for the bezel. Good to see you. Collector road and track car and driver magazines during the late 90s and early 2000s. Very nice. Oh, there you go. Paul did that as well. 1987. Too many nice watches, says Reinhard. All right, let's scroll down. Sorry, guys, if I missed anything. Kevin S saying, I think Sanjay is a Grand Seiko collector, but he doesn't have the funds to keep them all. Yes, Kevin, I think you're right. I would be all Grand Seiko if I had unlimited money. Yeah, absolutely. I would have every movement. I even did that for a while, right? I had like the 3 pillars of Grand Seiko. I was desperately trying to make like this small sub collection of Grand Seiko, 9F quartz, spring drive, high beat, and then they released 2 new movements and ruined it all for me. Anyway, huge wine reseller market. This is Kevin S. I am not sure how to pronounce this, but pleased to meet you. It says, I had a 120-year-old bottle of wine. I drank it with some buddies and filled it back up with some cheap stuff. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, man. Can you imagine the person who decides to open that down the line? Says, oh, interesting body to this one.
There was a major fraud story. I don't know if you guys remember. Some guy, like a Bernie Madoff type guy, in the wine industry,
Okay.
really connected, big name, reputation. He sold all these, really expensive wines to collectors. He was really deep in that world. And then at the point, somehow, they found out that it was all bullshit. It's complete, like, the guy said, filled up with some regular wine, just the labels were created and the story was made up of where it came from.
Oh, wow.
Made the media a while back.
So is the Daniel
Wow.
Wellington of the wine market.
Yeah, the Long Island crap,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. I was thinking more, what was the other guy? Felipe Loretti. Filippo Loretti. There you go. Yeah. That's crazy. Oh, that would expose all the pretentious people, Like I would love to be in a place where that's like found out, where you find out that this is fake wine and there's an actual expert, and then all these people saying, "Oh, this is amazing, 120-year-old wine," and the actual expert says, "Yeah, no."
I'm not sure, but I might mix it up, but might have been the Koch brothers, that very famous industrialists, investor guys.
Okay,
I think he sold some to them,
really?
and they kind of started investigating,
Yeah.
and then it all collapsed.
Oh,
Might have been these guys, not 100% sure.
wow. So 90% of the community in the wine market was a bunch of pretentious people, I guess. Oh, that's good.
I mean, like with watches, or with Madoff. Once these guys built the name, nobody really looks anymore. Once the trust is there, these guys they're just blindly trust. Okay, that guy, it's got to be real,
Right.
and sometimes it isn't.
Yeah. Yeah. That's too bad. Paul says I'm kind of a big deal in the Beanie Baby gray market. I can get you an in, but be cool. I swore. I think Clayton from the Watchdog podcast has mentioned the Beanie Baby wars of the 90s or something. I mean, it seems like PEZ was a big deal back then too. This is Princess Diana Beanie Baby is my grill. Is that really a thing? No. Okay. That was a good one. I'm gonna scroll down, guys. I'm sorry if I missed anything interesting. We'll definitely read through it later. Karan is here. Good to see you, Karan. Hope you're doing well. Kevin says, Chaz, started to collect hot chicken. You need to go down that rabbit hole. I don't understand. Oh, I get it. Wolfie doesn't like chicken, right? Is that it?
Well, Nashville's famous for hot chicken, so
Oh,
I would say to Kevin, I'm more of an enthusiast when it comes to hot chicken.
right.
None of it stays around long enough to call it collecting, so it's purely in and out. So yeah,
In and out.
yeah, I'm an enthusiast for sure.
Right. Oh boy. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure there's a chicken reselling market. You know what? I think there actually is, though. I think there is, like, live chickens. They're like these chickens with these really scaly feet, and they make like chicken foot soup. That's yeah, it's a thing. So even though I just laughed at it, I think that's real.
Yeah, man, I'd have to be really hungry to eat the feet. But now you give me a good leg, I'm all over it. All over it.
Yeah. These feet look like there's meat on it,
Yeah, meaty feet.
All right, let's stop talking about that.
Just go down and read the Detroit Spartan comment. That's a good
Okay.
one too. That fits.
Marcy Darcy says he's a sock collector. Hey, Keith is here. Look at that. Keith, we were talking about you. If I moved on from watches, then I would be free. There you go. Yeah, Mr. Minimalist. Yeah. Okay, going down here. Sanjay is going to collect laser discs. I sure hope not. Okay, let's see. Detroit Spartan. Is it this one? Was since an enthusiast of anything edible?
Me too.
Wait, what's this? Oh, chicken. Gotcha. James has a great food channel on Instagram. Man, James, your photography of sandwiches, it's unparalleled. Okay, so sorry, I lost my train of thought. Let me find my my question list here. Um, let's see. Okay. Okay. So if there was one particular thing that you weren't about watches that you really were supposed to dislike, um, what would it be? Like one particular thing about watches that you really dislike. Is that too hard a question? Maybe we'll start with Wolfie for this one.
No, you gotta go first. I don't know
Oh,
exactly what
God.
that means.
Oh, like an aspect about watches and watch collecting.
Oh, okay, yeah. I mean, at this point, what's kind of souring the whole hobby is the push to boutique only. The waiting lists, the we're not gonna release this. We're gonna keep the production low. The kind of the push in the industry to make things less accessible. That's what's probably the most annoying aspect in the hobby for me at this point.
Yeah. So, how would you solve that? Is there a way that you could solve that? Change your interests, or
Well, I mean, what I can do as a collector is, I'll move towards the brands where that's not the case. Where I
okay,
can go to a store, try something on, decide if I like it or not, and buy it. I don't have to be in the brands where, I can't even see the pieces anymore. They ask for deposit, like we heard about the engineer. No, make a deposit, then it comes in, then you're allowed to see it. Oh, so, I don't have to be in that brand. I don't
right?
have to ask for the piece. So I can do a lot of things, but it's the industry that, they determine, the brands determine what they want to do. They probably all try to be Rolex in the way of high demand, creating the FOMO aspect. Oh, I can't get that engineer, it's $16,000, but I still must have it because I can't get it. They seem to be, even if you look at some of the interviews from these brands that are not, there already, like, who's Rolex, Patek, AP is kind of what's there, and Joan. And many of the others, if you watch YouTube videos from the CEOs and the high-ranking management, in the interviews, they kind of they always hint that, oh, this is super limited production, and yeah, this is boutique only, and yeah, it's gonna be, you're gonna have to wait 2 years. It's kind of like it's one of their marketing scheme that they're pushing now, and it's just annoying. This is I takes
Yeah,
the fun out of the hobby.
yeah, yeah. I understand. And if everyone's going to do that, then there's going to be a lot of people who take advantage of, like other brands who take advantage of that, especially when people get sick of it.
Yeah, I mean, it's as long as the customers keep kind of playing their game, they're not going to change.
Yeah,
If the engineer, for example, fails miserably because of that, which I doubt,
right.
then they would have to change.
Yeah.
But it's really up to us as a group what we're going to put up with. Where's the money going? So we'll see.
So you think the ingenue won't fail?
I I don't know. I mean, I know that it got a lot of pushback because of the price,
Right.
but I did not hear that much about what bothers me more is that supposedly, they're not even gonna get it to the boutiques for everybody to see and try on.
Mm-hmm.
They want to deposit first, and then they're gonna have one coming in. That's what I heard. I don't know if it's true.
Mm.
So depends. It could fail because the price is too high. It could fail that people say, "Well, show me." I'm not gonna pay a deposit if I have never seen it. Could fail for that reason too.
Yeah.
But who knows? In this world, with all the FOMO going on, Who knows? Could be a success.
Yeah.
I don't know. I say 50-50.
Yeah. I've been like I when I first saw the IWC Ingeneur, I was super hyped up about it. But then immediately after hearing like some of the stories about it, I was like, yeah, whatever. But then I
Yeah,
do that with Rolex too, so
yeah, exactly. That's what I do.
yeah.
It's like there's so many other great watches out there that I can go see, buy, with all the hoops and so
Yeah. Well said. Well said.
up to us. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah. How about you, Chaz? Any particular thing you dislike about the hobby slash watches particular, like something laser focused on a watch or something?
Well, when I haven't been into watches all that long, but I got into it probably 2017, 2016, maybe 17, before all the stuff went crazy there. Um, you know, at that time I wasn't buying really expensive watches, but I started thinking I got back into mechanical watches. I wanted to get better ones, but it was always about the fun for me. I enjoy watches, but if it's not fun, I'm not going to do it. If it's not enjoyable, let me put it that way. I think it's why it's important that you remember this as a hobby. It's not a business. I'm not in this as a business. I got other things that take up that space. This is for fun. It's for relaxation. And I met some great people that make it enjoyable. Got good friends. The part I don't like, I think it gets to a certain point where if you're spending a certain amount of money on watches, it's no longer just fun. But I remember way back when I was first started, I mean, I didn't hear people talk about this watch lost value or most people assumed the watch was going to depreciate. There were a few examples of watches that didn't, but that was rare. You could probably count on two hands the most of the watches people bought that didn't just depreciate.
Right.
So you didn't have the expectation I'm going to buy this watch and a year from now it's going to, or 6 months, or when I walk out it's going to be worth more. It was kind of like buying a car. You leave the dealership and drive out of the parking lot, and it's worth less than you just paid for it. Before you put 5 miles on it, it's worth less. So that's the expectation you had. You try to get as good a deal as you can, so you don't lose any more than But you understand it's going to have some depreciation. What I don't like, I hear, is when people get too caught up in this sense of value, and that becomes more important to them than almost anything. I see some people that don't seem to find joy about this anymore. And it makes, when I see that, I keep thinking, if I ever get to that place, you won't see me in watches anymore. When it's not enjoyable to me, when it elicits, something besides joy, then I'm not going to do it. And I don't, I understand that some people are in this for a different thing. And I don't fault anybody that buys a watch and they do so because it has the anticipation of being worth more.
Right.
God bless them. I'm not criticizing that. I'm just saying that's not what I'm in it for. And, the part I see about that sometimes, I see that kind of reaction in people that kind of pursue all these hype watches. And I just think, man, that's a part of this hobby I don't ever want to dabble in.
Yeah.
Because it would ruin the joy of it for me. If I have to watch it like I watch my 401k, it wouldn't be fun for me. So that's a part of the hobby I don't really like. But some people may enjoy that part of it. They may So if somebody enjoys that, I'm not criticizing them. I'm just saying that I see a lot of people that get into it for that, and that doesn't seem to be fun to them, is in my observation. And that's the part I don't really like about this hobby. That you have to. Wolfie talked about it, jumping through these hoops, playing these games. There's a lot of that's artificially created, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like these are hard to get, so they make you do certain things, or you have to buy this before you can buy that. That kind of stuff. That wouldn't be fun for me. So that's a part of the hobby it wouldn't be fun for me. I'll just put it that way.
Yeah. So let's assume a watch that you got at a pretty steep discount starts climbing and gets to like 3-4 times its retail price. Do you think that would trigger some form of anxiety for you?
If prices started going up,
yeah, prices on a particular watch that you had started going like 3-4 times retail, would that
probably make me feel like it depends on how much. If I love that watch, I would still keep it.
Yeah.
If it wasn't a watch I loved, it would probably make me want to sell it and take that. I've just never. I don't think I may have broken even on a watch or two, right. But I've never. And I try to buy smart. Most of the time I bought a few watches brand new, but sometimes I'll buy one on the secondary market. But if one just took off, it probably wouldn't change. If I didn't really love the watch, I'd probably sell it and take the money and buy one I did love. But I don't think it would cause anxiety for me. If it got to an astronomical sum, I'd probably, I don't know how that's going to be, but if it happened, I might not be able to wear it as freely as I would if it wasn't worth some great sum. So, you know what I mean?
Yeah. But would it trigger like that same resentment that you have about like these hype watches and like that now that your watch is a hype watch? Would you be a bit resentful at the reselling market because of that?
I don't know. I can't say for sure. I've never been in that position, but it might. It might make me. And I know we all want to do as well as we can. We don't want to just throw money away.
Yeah.
But most of the knives I've ever bought, I didn't buy them because of, it was a beautiful thing. I like the way it was made. It reminded me of something my dad had, or it was, there was something about that. It wasn't that I thought this was going to be worth something else.
Yeah.
I appreciated that item. And I try to do that in the watches I get. There's something about that watch that I like about it. There's something that it elicits some emotional thing. It brings joy to some degree. And I don't want it to ever just be a transactional thing, where this is worth this and it's going to be worth that. If it was a transactional thing, to me, it wouldn't be, I wouldn't get the same joy out of it. This is me personally. Other people may get that joy out of doing, finding a good deal or getting in on a watch that's going to go up. They may find that joy in the chase there. And if that's true for them, I support them. It just wouldn't. I don't think it would be fun for me if that were the case.
Yeah. Good answer. Let's check in on the chat quickly before maybe calling it a night. I might answer as well, but we'll see. Keith has a good one here. He says, I think I'm supposed to dislike PVD or DLC gold watches, but I take it over the real thing. See Raven Trekker 39 vintage gold. Yeah. You are supposed to dislike PVD DLC gold, Keith.
But he has an inherent, very deep-rooted cheapness. He can't help himself. Gotta keep the pass.
Yeah. I don't know. Here's a spicy take. Isn't like PVD or DLC gold? I don't think you can do DLC gold, but ion plated gold, isn't that like a homage of the real thing? Steel masquerading as gold. No,
Gold colored steel.
Yeah. I'm just joking. It's just a color, right? Or if you're really looking at it in terms of aesthetics, it's just a color. But previously, it wasn't just aesthetics, right? It was precious metal. It was an asset. It was also what do you call it? Art. Like being able to work with precious metal like that, I think was a form of art. But anyway, I'm talking as if I know these things. I really don't. So let me take a step back from my pretentious self. Because I've never owned a gold watch.
Really?
Steel and gold. I don't know if that counts.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah. A lot of answers about hype watches here. James has an interesting idea here as well. He says he saw comic book, sports card, and collectible toy markets crash multiple times due to direct sales market. So like cutting out the middleman kind of thing. I mean, you kind of saw it with the mattress thing as well, right? Like with Purple Mattress and yeah. Anyway, this move to watch boutiques is eerily similar.
Mm.
Yeah.
Time will tell for sure.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard for a specific brand to have so many boutiques around the world and not have ADs, right? That's just like shooting yourself in the foot, I would think.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess with an AD or a boutique, you also get like online sales. I don't know. It does seem quite messy, but we will see. Marcy Darcy says, Wolfie, just buy Jordan, no deposit. No wait list either.
Sure.
Kevin also saying hype watches. Funko Pop market will crash for the watch market. The Anjanero was never a good seller for IWC. Strange approach with this one. Yeah, I was thinking that too. I mean, like most people would like turn on the tap, right? Let the floodgates out. Enjoy this watch, and then we'll start to take Claude back. So now you can't have it. Kind of like with the left-hand drive Tudor Pelagos. Now you can't have it. Now it's hard to get, and then that's what gets the hype going, I would think. Rather than right off the gate, no, you can't have it. Okay, keep it. Yeah, that's interesting. Two choice pardons is only limited edition Borealis.
It's because Marcy Darcy said that the Borealis holds value nicely.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. There it is. Does it actually? I don't know.
Oh,
I hope.
I can only hope. Most definitely not.
Yeah.
I saw it. I mean, it's terrible.
Yeah. I've never seen a Borealis, so. But then there's like Helios, right? Helios is really holds its value, goes over retail.
Some of those look nice. The Borealis
They
doesn't.
do. Yeah. and they have knockoffs. So Keith says it would be tough for me to keep a watch that goes way up in value. Yeah. Yeah, I
that
understand.
brings us back to the previous mentioned
deeply rooted. That should be a Hall of Fame quote. Deeply rooted cheapness, kind of like Amin for me with budget neutral. I love that term. I use it everywhere now.
That was good. That was good.
Yeah. I mean, maybe it was a term that was used before, though. I don't know.
I never heard it in the watch hobby before.
Okay. Yeah. Sam, good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Let's see. Detroit Spartan says the weight of solid gold is special and never wears off. Yes. That is true. That yeah, that's kind of my biggest fear about DLC and PVD coatings, right? It's at complete odds with our perspective of watches, which is something a bit more permanent than something else, like quartz with batteries or disposable movements. Not all quartz, but some quartz. But then you have an automatic movement, which is supposed to go on for in perpetuity as long as you take care of it. But then you put a DLC coating, or not DLC, but let's say PVD coating or an ion plating on a watch, which is not permanent. It's going to look awful in 3 to 5 years if you keep the watch. And it is at complete odds with the whole philosophy of mechanical watches. But Keith, if you do like it, you like it, and we love you nonetheless. And he likes money, he says. So that's a quote from Mr. Wonderful. But guys, it is past our bedtime. So, Chaz, do you have anything you'd like to plug before we call it a night?
Well, my appearance tonight is sponsored by Amundsen Straps. We have another spring special going on now with people use the code PIVOT for 25% off. So it's just check it out. Yeah. No pressure.
No pressure. Wolfie, do you have anything going on?
No.
Sounds good. Tomorrow we have Watch Soup on the Bobby Legs YouTube channel, so be sure to check us out there. Going to be talking about that Houdinki Kermit thing. And did you guys see that? Like Ben Clymer interviewed Kermit the Frog. Oh, my soul. Yeah.
Sounds like it.
Yes. So yeah, we'll be talking about that. Average Joe, Average Bros watch reviews got this really cool Grand Seiko. That's my pick for a video. Yeah. Oh, it's sight to behold for me. But it was a fun video, like someone actually finding their grail. So we'll be talking about that as well. So yeah, feel free to join us tomorrow night, and hope you all have a great week. Yeah, it'll be a lot of fun. But if I don't see you, have a great week. You are infinitely valuable, every single one of you. I know I say that a lot, but it's true. And take care, everyone. See you next time.
Good night.
Night.